Hey guys, it's Morgan coming to you from the shop. I know it's been a little too long since we've done just a Shlog or something like that. I've been so busy with filming the stuff on the beta and all that stuff, so I apologize for that. But don't worry, we're getting back to that. It's also been winter time and early spring, which is pretty slow here, so I send all the work to Richie to keep him busy. So I haven't actually had a ton of customer stuff that I've been doing. But I figured today, let's just film a video. I'm going to change some tires on this Husqvarna right here, and we're just going to talk about changing tires and all that good stuff that we do. You know, things that come to my mind. So if that sounds like fun, then join me. If not, skip this video, go on to the next ride video, me crashing video, whatever. All that good stuff. There's plenty of things on here for you guys to find and have fun with. But yeah, starting with, this is a 19 Husqvarna TX300. This guy loves this motorcycle. It's been in here lots of times on the Shlogs between charging system stuff, lots of oil changes, air filter stuff. He does a really good job with his air filter. He is currently running an M59 front and an X31 rear. And we're going to switch to an X31 front and just another X31 rear. So let's get these things off, change some tires, and talk about stuff. Am I? I can be, yeah. I mean, I don't need to, because we're leaving around noon. I was planning on running errands and stuff, but I can come in if you need something. Oh no.
I sat there, watched it.
Guys, so check that out. A lot of you guys would keep running this tire, I know. But guys on budgets, I get it. But Jerry likes sharp tires, so this one's done. Also, guys, quick note, we've been using the SKF seal and bearing kits for wheels, and they're holding up really, really well. They're very expensive, but they come with new spacers, seals, and bearings. And I really like them. As far as kind of my two go-to options for wheel bearings are either OEM or the SKF. All balls, all that stuff. I mean, they work in a pinch. That's actually what I have in my van, just in case one of my kids' bikes has a problem. But they suck. They wear out really fast. So they're no good. But the SKF ones seem to be really holding up. And they got this cool seal that the lip spins with the spacer, so it doesn't cut that groove in the spacer, which is pretty sweet. So anyway, let's get this sucker off of here. You guys will notice we're using got the sprocket side up. That's only so I can break the bead on this side. I try to never work on a wheel with the sprocket side up, which is part of why I don't like the tubeless system, is that you have to both unmount and then remount on the sprocket side. Just the way the tubeless system works, you can't like roll it all over like you would a normal tube. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Let me show you here. A way to break beads. Take one tire iron, take the other tire iron. Here, let's come over here. Away from the rim lock. Just take one, push it in there, and try to break it. It doesn't always work. So what you do is you take another iron, come in here, tuck it as far close to the rim as you can, and then boom, just like that. And we'll get that rim lock moved. So right, that part of the bead. All right, now I get to flip it over and work on the right side. Also, guys, take this second to talk about the versatility of the Ace Pro. That's what you guys are watching this. It's the camera shooting this right now. I've got it in the de-warp setting, so it's not so immersive, not so fish-eyed, which is really, really cool. I've also got my DJI mic hooked up to it. Got the receiver over there on the camera. It's really slick. So honestly, is kind of a one-stop shopping camera. You can really just use it for everything, which is really, really nice. Jerry's had this tire on here for too long. Last night we were at my house shop doing this with my kids because we're going racing. And those lucky children are the benefactors of the fact, or they benefit from the fact that Rocky Mountain ATV takes such good care of me, because they also send tires for those kids, so they get fresh new tires every time they go race, which is pretty sweet. But they're good kids, so I think they deserve it. It's pretty awesome. But I was teaching them how to change mooses or moose balls, because they haven't really done much of that. My way of getting this off, a lot of guys will like flip this over, take the other bead off and pull the tire out. That's kind of how you do the tubeless system. I don't like that. Again, I don't like working on the side with the sprocket. So I go in here and I get the next bead and pull it up and pull the whole thing up and over this side. Boom. I don't know. No. Yeah, hopefully it's all right, but so guys, I like the Michelin tubes, ultra heavy duty, extra heavy duty, whatever they are. Anyway, these ones, they're awesome. They're kind of expensive. I think they're almost 30 bucks for an 18, but they're nice and heavy. And I don't know if they're, I think they're real rubber maybe. Anyway, ultra heavy duty tube. Here we go. 110, 100, 120, 90, 130, 80, 18. While it's flat, I like to take it and put it in the tire, because the tire's kind of squished down from packaging. You know, they jam them all together, and they in the packaging, which makes it really hard to change. Really hard if you're dealing with mooses or moose balls, because you gotta like force them into that little tiny crack. So once we get that in there, and we're gonna take air and we're gonna fill it up just enough to kind of hold its shape. That does two things. One is it opens that bead up a little bit, makes our life easier there. And then also, if you got air in here and it's holding its shape, it's really hard to pinch it. And that's not impossible. Don't ask me how I know, but it is much harder to pinch a tube with that going on, with a little air in the tube. So you guys can see, just hold just enough air to hold its shape. Then I take WD, and these tires are non-directional, the Bridgestones. And we're gonna squirt a whole bunch of WD on the bead and on the tube to make it slippery. A for mounting, and B to keep us from pinching it. And then, since it's a KTM or Austrian bike, we're gonna start at we're gonna push the valve stem through, and we'll be over by the rim lock, which is nice. I'm gonna pull the valve stem down and out. There we go. So, see, I got that sticking out like that. Now I can put it through. Maybe. I gotta get the rim strip lined up. And put our nut on it just enough that it won't come off. And tuck the rim lock in. Like that. And because we put that nut on there, the tube can't back out, which is nice. Then we're just going to take 2 turns and get this first bead on. Lubrication is your friend, people. And the reason I use WD, because I've explained this a million times on this channel, but there's a lot of new channel folks here. The reason I use WD is that it's nice and slippery going on, but then it dries up and goes away. WD is not a good lubricant. It's water displacement, and it works really good for that. It works really good as a short-term lube, but it's nice because it dries up, which is what you want on a tire, because you want it easy to go on, but then you don't want the wheel moving inside the tire. And that's why we have a rim lock, but honestly, as much horsepower as these things make, that rim lock doesn't always hold it. So start at the rim lock. I'm gonna push our, we've got tire irons here, I'll show you. We've got tire irons on either side of the rim lock. We're gonna push this over and we're gonna push this rim lock. And we're gonna come over. Was it like that? Now we'll, and now we know that the rim lock is inside the tire. It's got the tire bead between the rim lock and the rim. And we're just going to work our way around. Since I'm right-handed, I go counterclockwise. Most of you guys know, but you want to make sure that this side is going down and going into the drop center. There's no way to get this tire on. If that doesn't go into the drop center, you will either bend tire irons or break beads on tires. And guys, let me show you a little trick here. So when you're getting down near it, you know, to the end, you got just this little bit left, and you're trying to shove this in here. It is not, doesn't hurt anything to push down on this and let that go in. So you're using the rotor as a little bit of leverage to help you push that in there. The rotor will be just fine. So I'm just on the valve stem, I'm just tightening this down enough to get the valve stem out enough that I can get my air chuck on it. Don't want to tighten that way down. Get that so it seats the bead all the way around. Right now our air pressure is way too high to go ride, but that's okay, we're not done. Then he had this nice little steel cap, so I'm gonna put that back on. Guys, I like to run that cap on and then just leave this loose. Some people run it up against the cap to hold it on, make sure it's like a jam nut. I don't bother with it. I've never had a cap just come off, but I just leave it loose because if this does move inside the tire, you want a little bit of give. If this is all the way tight, you got tight, you'll rip that valve stem off the tube and get it flat. I should be preaching moose, 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 moose. Cherry just doesn't like running mooses. That's all. Big deal. And see, guys, we can all be friends. Tighten this down. I don't know what the torque's supposed to be, guys. Maybe someone can comment. Just nice and tight without messing up the rim lock. I know, not real specific. Sorry about that. But that's, you don't need to be. All right, now, when we take things off of the stands, always make sure you grab spacers. I hate to admit that I have sent more than a couple people home. Not, obviously, if you put it on a bike, you're going to find out right away that you don't have it on there. But I've sent a few people home with new tires on their wheels without spacers, and they've had to drive back, and I feel like a moron. But It happens. I tell people honestly, if you're bringing your tires to a shop, just the wheel, the best thing you can do is take the spacers out and leave them at home. That way the shop can't lose them. All right, guys, this axle, super greasy still, so I didn't put any more grease on it because, you know, there's not really such a thing as too much grease on an axle, but if you go heavy on the grease on an axle, you can end up collecting more dirt and crap. It's not the end of the world, but it just is a mess. Show you guys a little trick. Take a wrench, and take it and put it in between the chain and the sprocket. That way when you roll back like that, it pushes the wheel forward tight against both axle stops. That way when you're tightening the axle, you're not going and cocking the thing to the side. Run it forward. Make sure everything spins like it's supposed to. Make sure the chain tension's good. We're good to go. Oh, I tell you, man, there's not a lot that looks better than a fresh tire on a dirt bike. I don't know. It's just beautiful. All right, guys, if you have not seen my favorite stand before, this thing's cool. It's just like an old school flat track stand. So there we go. Now the bike is down. You can kind of control it, hold on to it, so you don't just bam, drop it. What we're going to do is we're going to roll the bike back. So roll the bike back a little bit, and we're going to put it up underneath the front part of the frame so we get the front wheel off the ground. There we go, front wheel off the ground. These stands are awesome. Comment below if I ought to weld some of these up and sell them. Buddy of mine welded this, and I'm trying to learn how to weld, so this might be a good project, is to weld a few of these things and sell them to you guys, or maybe give them away like a raffle kind of thing. I don't know. They're awesome, like, because any idiot can like lift a bike up. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to be coordinated. You like do it. All right, guys. So there's some drama here at the shop. I just had to go run an errand, but I want to fill you in on what happens at an independent motorcycle shop when you're dealing with customers and older bikes and people who really don't know what they're probably talking about. One second, let me get this wheel off. Actually, I'm gonna change this tire before I tell you all about it, because I got to get this done. This gentleman's coming here pretty soon to pick this up, and he's one of our very, very good customers I love to death, so I want it done and ready to go for him. All right, on fronts, you don't have to break the bead on both sides before you go to work, because they're small enough and flexible enough that you can break this bead and then pull up on the other one when you're ready. I can believe it, though, if you... Like I said, if you jacked up a fork, I should be able to just push like that. Yeah. Bead's already off on the other side, as I predicted. Leander, this does not need a front tube. So we're reusing this tube because this one's in good shape. Back one just had a bunch of rust around the valve stem, and it was kind of cocked all funky inside the tire from the wheel moving inside the tire. So that is a lot of times the case with rears and fronts. The fronts will be okay, the backs will be all weird, but Dub D. So they just screwed up and gave us the wrong ones. Oh, on the outside? Yeah. I don't know. Hang on, I can find out. For our most important customer. Boom, now it's done. I'm going to reinstall this and I'm going to walk you over there and show you what we're dealing with and the weirdness. All right, guys, so over here working on this KX. What year is it, Leandra? 2015 KX250F, we assume, but
not safely.
Not safely. So this side is the damping side, and it has, interestingly enough, an air side, but with a spring conversion in it. Now, maybe someone on here can correct me, but I talked to the dealership, Davis Service Center, and I looked through our books and stuff like that. Everything says that this bike should have 48 millimeter forks, and it should have a spring right fork. It's big, super heavy duty spring, and should not have ever had air forks on it. Only the 450s had that. But this has it has what was obviously an air fork, because it's got the balance chamber right here, and this side has 49 millimeter legs. The guy brought in a set of 48 millimeter seals and bushings that he bought elsewhere, which is funny, he actually bought it from Davis. No big deal. We're going to install those for him, but then in trying to do that, they didn't fit on the first side. It would have been interesting, actually, if you'd done the damping side first. You would have thought, oh, we're all good. But he was trying to do the air side, which has a spring conversion, first. It didn't work. Couldn't put them on, so I went and got 49 millimeter seals from Davis, because we don't stock them because it's a weird size. Come back, they fit on one side, but then when he went to put them on the damping side, they just fell on like a hot dog down a hallway. And it's, yeah, this is what we deal with. Independent shop, guys. That's part of the deal. So, so now I'm going to let him know so that he can tell people in the future, whether it be us or someone else, that left side takes 48s, right side takes 49s, and now he has a set. It's like having two shoes, like having an 11 and 11 and a half. You got to buy two pairs, but then you end up with a spare set when you're done. Except for shoes doesn't work because left and right. But
Unless you're crafty.
unless you're super, unless you've seen Best in Show, you got two left feet. So anyway, this is what we deal with, guys. I hope you guys like this short little video. I don't really have anything else for you right now. I just want to get you a shot video, kind of a day in the life video, because I haven't been doing the Shlogs recently. I've just been, like I said, busy with other projects, and then also not a ton of work for me to do in the shop. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope you like this video. Comment below. Subscribe if you like what we do. Give it a thumbs up if you think we're cool. Tell your friends about it. I'm trying to grow this thing to 100,000 subscribers, because I think we can, and I think it would be good for the world. So we'll see you guys on the next one.